Hello and welcome. Today we are taking a look at a replay from BasJon's Rhode Island. He sent it to me after my previous replay analysis video, where I tried to help Leah get better at the game. However, this time I have an inkling that it's not so much about asking for help, but rather to show off a banger of a game. I am looking forward to it. Now, I don't know what captain skills and upgrades he uses, but this is what I use on Rhode Island. Anyway, it's a match on the map Mounted Range, and he spawned on the western flank. Started going forward with HE, turned around to be safe. I think this is an absolutely great idea, because you never know what the initial engagement is like before it actually happens. So it's always better to be safe. Also, oh my god, the default audio settings in World of Warships are terrible. Why are the engine sounds so incredibly loud when you speed up or change something about the engine? That's just terrible. Anyway, it is what it is. That's unfortunately what the game is like. It doesn't inherit my regular settings, it seems to just reset them for some reason. Anyway, he's just HE spamming the Montana, which is, I think, a decent enough choice. Now, this is gonna be an interesting battle because a Cyclone kicks in 4 minutes. I mean, it'll take a little bit longer before it actually fully kicks in, but this is something you do have to take into account when you think of your future positioning. You have to try to put yourself into a position where once Cyclone fully kicks in, that you actually have something to fight. Because if you don't, then you're putting your team at a slight disadvantage, right? Because you're effectively removing yourself from the battle for some duration until you can actually get into the fight. And the team that does that the least ends up getting a giant advantage that they might actually be able to just use to win. Anyway, he decides to turn around and actually start going forward. I think that's an excellent choice, especially since he has a Friedrich der Grosse and an Eger with him. This is absolutely the correct choice. With that Montana taking so much player damage already, it's very, very good. Just keep going and hopefully that Montana will die. And when that happens, the next target would be the Napoli. In fact, it doesn't appear that they have to be too worried here. In fact, they might even be able to push a little harder than this. At least so far, they don't really know where the destroyer is, so maybe not. Maybe it is a bit dangerous to push. But there's no torpedoes or anything, so maybe it's fine. Okay, so the target is switched to the Yamato. I'm guessing it's because Montana is already burning. Honestly, I would still try to shoot the Montana to try to set the bow on fire as well. Because, I mean, the earlier they can take out one of the battleships, the better it is, because that means that the guns are removed from the match, so they can't actually punish anything in return. I mean, 8,000 damage, 2.5 more of such salvos, and the Montana is actually gone. Wait, what? Okay, so he definitely plays a different type of Rhode Island than I do. He has secondary range. Okay, that's an interesting choice. I mean, if it works, it works. I don't really know. Maybe this is actually a great build. So, I mean, it's definitely working out here. Okay. I mean, one decent salvo on the Montana. The question here is, would you aim at the superstructure or actually the bow? He aimed at the superstructure. I think I would have done roughly the same thing. But the bow is also an acceptable option, because the bow is fully 32mm, so all of the HE shells would just penetrate. Man, these engine sounds are insanely loud. Wargaming, what you doing with that? Because these are the default settings. Excellent. The Montana went down to a secondary hit. There is a destroyer ahead though, or at least something with torpedoes. Actually, maybe those are Napoli torpedoes. Regardless which one it is, there's nothing to fight over here, at least anything you would want to fight. The closest ship is that Yamato 20 kilometers away. Cyclone kicks in about 2 minutes, I believe, right? That's when it will fully activate. At that point, you have to have an enemy ship at 8 kilometers, otherwise you won't get to actually shoot anything. Now, luckily, Rhode Island has a speed boost, so it's completely okay to be a little bit further out of position than you would expect normally on a battleship or a battle cruiser. The other thing is that as a Rhode Island, you're not the tankiest ship. I mean, 74,000 HP is pretty low, you know, for a tier 10 battleship. So you're not going to be doing much of the tanking, or at least you shouldn't be doing much of the tanking early on. I mean, it's always good to do some of the tanking and then swap with a teammate, so that you can both use all of your heals, but it might not always happen, right? You have to be careful not to overextend. So it seems that the ships that our friend BasJon over here is gonna fight are the Johan de Witt and potentially the Sherman in the middle. Cyclone is slowly kicking in. It's at 34 kilometers. I actually think that BasJon is gonna have nothing to shoot at once Cyclone is fully active. Oh wow! That was a completely deserved kill, okay? He did all of the work with his 1 over penetration. Anyway, unfortunately the Sherman is still alive, so potential destroyer threat. Probably a bigger threat for his team's Jäger though. Okay, there she is. HE is loaded. Actually, you know, never mind. This Sherman's just so dead. He just got a little too close to the sun and got burnt. Oh wow, another secondary kill. Wow, this is crazy. 2 secondary kills with a Rhode Island secondaries in 9 minutes? That's nuts. Unfortunately, it seems that his team's Friedrich der Grosse is in trouble, mostly because the CV seems to be attacking him. There just isn't much they can do about it. Also, unfortunately, the Cyclone did kick in and he has nothing to shoot at. So the best thing to do in this kind of situation is to look at your minimap. You see that little circle that moves around with your aim? That is essentially what you're aiming at on your minimap. And one of the things you can do is you can aim at targets that are minimap spotted. Now you're not gonna get accurate salvos, but you can at least shoot and try to do some damage. For example, that Alaska and Lepanto over there, you can't see them, but you can see them on the minimap. You move the little circle over them and just shoot and hope for the best. Usually they won't hit, but hey, any damage is still positive, right? It's not like he has anything else to shoot at right now. Also, he looks around a lot. It's like has a nervous tick, which it's not a bad thing, okay? I want to make that clear. It's just something I actually used to do too, until I started making videos. At that point I realized that it's not a good idea. It's better to keep the camera stable for the video stuff, right? Okay, in Alaska, well, AP... I don't know. Yeah, AP should actually work. Especially since Alaska is probably going to show some sign and Preußen's going to pop up anyway. At this range, I'm not sure how effective HE spam would be, because, you know, it's still heavily reliant on fires. And at close range, you kind of don't have time for fire damage to kick in, not to mention, well, the secondaries also start fires. Oh! Yamato is on his broadside. This is a problem. His Jaeger got knocked out. Broadside Lepanto, absolutely the priority target. I would speed boost and start going forward, or keep reversing. Either way, use speed boost to do it faster. Lepanto is the priority. It's a low HP battleship that he could potentially take out. Preußen is probably the least priority, or the lowest priority. Actually, no, never mind. Since Montana is gone, Preußen is the next priority after the Lepanto. Really weird choice by that Yamato. If she had just stayed, she would have gotten Rhode Island's broadside and been able to potentially do some heavy damage, because Rhode Island will have to angle against the Preußen. Also, I like the fact that he finally used the speed boost. Radar is pretty OP in this kind of a situation. Like, seriously, he just knows exactly where Preußen is. Although I think the CV would have helped there anyway. At this point, it's, yeah, worth considering going forward to get that one salvo on the price. Never mind, I guess it doesn't really even matter. Somebody else is gonna just finish them off. Yep, goodbye Preußen. The Katsones with his fire. Now, John is being attacked by the torpedo bombers and CV constantly. Unfortunately, there just isn't much he can do about it. Because if he starts angling too much and Yamato pops out at the wrong time... Oh, that was a very nice dodge on the torpedoes. Well, not the Napoli torpedoes, but the CV torps. He ran into them, so they weren't able to arm in time. And therefore, he took no damage. Napoli is torpedoing again, so you have to start turning in. Oh, Kraken unleashed already. Nice. Anyway, Napoli definitely torpedoed here, so preemptive turn-in is a good idea. Or at least you should have torpedoed. Torpedoes should have arrived by now. Oh, is that Yamato showing broadside? Yep, there are the Napoli torps, which were properly avoided. Nice. 2 citadels. It's over, man. Yamato, you're dead. You just don't know it yet. Showing broadside here was a huge mistake. Should have done that early when BasJon was busy trying to shoot someone else. Now, it's a terrible choice. Especially because when you do that in a Yamato, your turret traverse is so slow that, well, he isn't able to properly aim at the target. Oh, nice. Very nice. Now John is in... Well, he's probably dead, right? He has 1,857 HP. There's a Nahimov that's almost certainly gonna come in with an attack run. Yep, hello torpedo bombers. The Nahimov's the only one left though, so even if John does go down... Oh, heals up! Press the heal! Press T, spam it! Spam the T button. Hello, buddy, friend, pal? Is he dead now? Oh, nah. That was an awesome dodge, well done. Should have pressed T earlier though, because even if you had eaten that torpedo, you would have been fine then. Oh! Nahimov, what are you doing, buddy? What is this? Man, and people accuse me of paid actors? What? Did you see this game? Did you see that Yamato? It's just a player base, man. Man, this was a great game. It was absolutely a banger. 282,000 damage, 1.7 million credits. Witherer, Arsonist, 2 close quarters experts in a Rhode Island, Dreadnought, Kraken Unleashed, high caliber. He sank 6 ships, 216 secondary hits. Oh, and by the way, 33 planes shot down from a Nahimov. 2,750 base XP, absolutely deserved #1 spot on the team. And 2.7 million potential damage. Secondaries actually didn't do that much damage, but the fires with the main guns plus the secondaries definitely added up. Well, BasJon, thank you very much for sending this replay. It was a great match, and I don't really have much advice to give you. You seem to know what you're doing. Maybe account for the Cyclone a little earlier, but sometimes you just really can't. Anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I would like to thank the patrons on Patreon. Thank you very much for your continued support, and I hope I'll see you guys next time.